Welcome to Investoro. When it comes to investing, there's always the temptation to chase the hottest stocks or gamble on the next big crypto. But most people forget that the simplest strategies often deliver the strongest long-term results. If you had to choose just one investment to hold in 2025, one single ETF that could give you exposure to massive growth, safety, and diversification all at once, there is a clear answer. The beauty of an ETF, or exchange-traded fund, is that it's like buying a basket of investments instead of a single stock. Instead of betting on just one company, you spread your money across dozens or even hundreds of companies, industries, or even countries. That way, your risk is lower, your diversification is higher, and your potential for steady growth is much stronger. So if you could only buy one ETF in 2025, which one should it be? The ETF to strongly consider is the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, ticker symbol VTI. Why? Because VTI doesn't just give you a piece of one industry or one sector, it gives you a piece of the entire U.S. stock market. With a single purchase, you own thousands of companies across all sectors: technology, healthcare, finance, energy, real estate, and more. From giant names like Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon, to smaller, up-and-coming companies, you're getting exposure to the entire economy. That means instead of trying to guess which stock will be the next winner, you automatically capture the growth of every winner in the market. Think about it this way. If you had invested in the S&P 500 index decades ago, you wouldn't have had to know that companies like Google, Netflix, or Tesla were going to explode. You would have automatically owned them as they grew and became dominant players. That's the power of broad market ETFs like VTI. They remove the guesswork. And the truth is, the U.S. stock market has been one of the greatest wealth-building machines in history, consistently growing over the long term despite recessions, crashes, and global crises. Every dip has eventually been followed by new all-time highs. And ETFs like VTI allow investors to ride those waves without worrying about picking the right stock. But maybe you're wondering why VTI and not something else? The answer lies in both cost and scope. VTI has one of the lowest expense ratios in the market, meaning you keep more of your money working for you instead of paying high fees to fund managers. It also holds over 4,000 stocks, far more than the S&P 500, which only holds 500. That means you not just betting on the largest companies, you also capturing the growth of small and mid-sized businesses that could become the giants of tomorrow. In other words, VTI gives you the full spectrum of growth opportunities in one ETF. Now let's put this in perspective. Imagine you invest $1,000 into VTI and keep contributing consistently every month for the next 20 or 30 years. Even with modest market returns, history shows that your wealth could multiply several times over. And if the next decades bring continued innovation in AI, biotech, clean energy, space sectors that will drive U.S. growth, your ETF will automatically adapt, because it will include those leaders as they rise. That's what makes VTI so powerful. You don't need to constantly research or rebalance your portfolio. The ETF evolves with the market itself. Of course, VTI is not the only strong ETF in 2025. Some might argue for QQQ, which focuses on the NASDAQ 100 and leans heavily on tech stocks like Apple, Nvidia, and Microsoft. Others might recommend SCHD, the Schwab Dividend Equity ETF, which focuses on strong dividend-paying companies for income. Both are excellent in their own ways, but they're narrower than VTI. If you could only pick one, VTI still offers the broadest exposure, the lowest cost, and the highest level of long-term resilience. It's the kind of ETF you can buy, hold, and forget, knowing that decades from now, you'll be glad you invested. The key to making VTI work is not just buying it once and forgetting about it. It's about consistency. Wealth is built not just from one-time investments, but from dollar cost averaging, which means investing steadily over time regardless of whether the market is up or down. This strategy smooths out volatility and ensures you're always buying shares, sometimes at a discount when markets dip. That's how regular people build wealth without needing to time the market. So if you want one ETF in your portfolio for 2025 that could stand the test of time, protect you from market uncertainty, and position you for long-term wealth, VTI is the clear choice. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's proven. You don't need to be a stock-picking genius to grow rich over the long term. You just need to make smart, consistent moves with the right tools. And owning VTI is one of those moves. The question now is, will you take advantage of it? Will you start building your financial foundation today with a single investment that captures the entire market? Remember, the best time to start investing was yesterday, but the second best time is right now. Don't wait for the perfect moments. Start now. Stay consistent, and let time do the heavy lifting. The one ETF you should consider above all else in 2025 is VTI, because it represents not just one company or one sector, but the power of the entire U.S. economy. This is your opportunity to own a slice of every winner that emerges in the next decade without having to predict the future. All it takes is one ETF, one decision, and the patience to hold. That's how millionaires are made, not overnight, but over time. If you choose wisely today, your future self will thank you. Subscribe to Invest Arrow.